Hi everyone, welcome to Skywatch Media News. This is the first week of September 2017. If you haven't been paying attention to the unprecedented weather these past 2 weeks, then maybe it is time that you did. On August 21st, millions of Americans witnessed a great solar eclipse that extended for several hours across the heartland of the United States. Many who saw that grand spectacle in the sky commented that they had felt quite strange, a strong feeling of apprehension at the moment that the moon was crossing in front of the sun. What was it about the eclipse that seemed to have so many observers feeling uneasy? In the days following the eclipse, extreme weather events happened on a global scale that would have devastating effects on millions of people from Texas to Southeast Asia. It is hard to ignore these events when considering the extreme nature of their occurrence. When Harvey came ashore in Texas, this country was not prepared for what would ensue. It would seem that a Category 4 hurricane would, by the nature of its force, be a devastating event for many communities that lie in its path. But there was no one who could have imagined, even in their wildest dreams, that a storm would drop more than 4 feet of rain on a major metropolitan city in America. That is something that just doesn't happen. And yet it did happen, and now the world knows what they are up against. The biggest question that we must seriously consider is what is causing these unprecedented climate-related events to take place. Not once in a century, or even a decade, but virtually every year or two on a scale that can now be considered cataclysmic. For every effect, there is a cause. So in our determination to seek answers to these horrendous events, we must consider the real possibility that something outside of the natural realm of likelihood, such as an outer planetary influence, has become a real possibility and must be included in our list of causes. There have been quite a few comments on this channel and on social media sites denouncing the existence of Planet X. This has been going on for a number of years. Now, I don't wish for a giant rogue planet or a mini solar system to wreak havoc on our planet. But something very strange is happening on Earth. And it behooves me, as it should you, to seek answers and to continue searching for the truth. If we are able to fit the pieces of the puzzle together, we can then see a much clearer picture of what is going on and apply the knowledge that we gain from our observations to better understand why the world is suddenly changing, what is causing these great events to transpire, and what we can do to prepare ourselves for what is right around the corner. When you think about Hurricane Harvey, think about this. Texas has never seen such devastation. When Katrina hit the coast of Louisiana and Mississippi in August of 2005 as a Category 5 hurricane, it did so with great force, causing the levees to fail, allowing the waters to inundate the city of New Orleans in what was then considered to be one of the most costly and destructive storms in a century. But since that time, the weather has intensified. Storms are becoming more powerful and more deadly, and Texas witnessed the brunt of what is now the new norm in weather-related events. Now, something out of the norm was responsible for the flood devastation in Texas, and we must come to grips with the fact that our weather is becoming more erratic as time passes. What is even more exasperating is the increased earthquake and volcanic activity that is happening in many parts of the world. Those who prepare for a disaster in waiting, or any number of apocalyptic events that have been predicted to occur, are those who will have a much better chance of enduring the storm, if or when the time comes. For the rest of the world, it is a wait-and-see attitude, which is why we are given the freedom to decide when and how to react to each situation. Those who scoff at Planet X have the right to do so. But my question to these individuals is very simple. Why do you continue to visit sites or channels such as this one who claim that Planet X is real and is the main reason why the Earth is in peril? In the course of presenting my material in these videos, I have garnered a series of facts to substantiate my belief that another planet or system of planets does exist in our solar system. It is then up to you to determine if the facts warrant your consideration. If they do not, then what is your purpose in continuously visiting this channel? Some of you have asked me when the time will arrive that the blue and red Kachina of the Hopi prophecy will appear in the heavens. Well, I can tell you that now is an important time in which to look for the fulfillment of the prophecy. For those who marvel at its coming, the blue Kachina is a cool planet similar in scope to Planet 9, the planet which is appearing in the sky as a warning to all of mankind that great changes are upon us. Its counterpart is the red Kachina, a brown dwarf star with an iron oxide halo, often referred to as Nemesis or the red dragon. Their presence in the heavens will help to demystify the notion that Nibiru and Nemesis do not exist. Because there is so much disinformation and misinformation about Planet 9, it has led many people to believe that nothing is going on behind the sun, which is further from the truth. We have already witnessed the effects of its presence where South America has begun to shift with the abnormal movement of the oceans. In actuality, some of the southern Atlantic Ocean has begun to repolarize. Hopi prophecy entails a shifting of the poles, a movement to a counterclockwise rotation of the Earth, which will help many people to better focus on the big picture. The return of the blue star Kachina will be the informant which foretells of a new day and a new way of life, a new world in the making. It will bring about the changes that must be wrought in each of us if we are to remember the teachings of our ancient ancestors and return to a peaceful coexistence. Not far behind the blue star will come the purifier, the red Kachina, which will bring the day of purification. On this day, the earth, its creatures, and all manner of life will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old teachings. The messages will be found in living stone, it will be found in the crop circles, and it will be found in the waters. Those who return to the ways of the old teachings and live a natural life will not succumb to the purifier, but will survive and build the new world, whereby the messages will only be found in the old teachings. Therefore, this is a sacred covenant, one that can only be sealed by those who remain true to themselves and to their Creator in these troubled times. The world is experiencing dramatic climate change as we enter into perilous times, in which the manner of life that we have grown accustomed to can and will change in the blink of an eye. Floods, heat waves, and wildfires are setting new records as the world's weather runs rampant. Many of you have indicated that the Great American Eclipse of 2017 was a harbinger of troubled times for the Americas, the ushering in of the time of tribulation. True to order, 2017 is becoming the year of the storm. Millions of people are being severely affected by the Great Texas Flood this past month, as a result of a massive tropical system that stalled for many days, dropping trillions of gallons of water on a state already suffering from excessive rain. And now the country is almost certain to suffer another catastrophe as a mega hurricane bears down on Florida and the East Coast. Hurricane Irma, a Category 5 storm, roared into the Caribbean with record force on September 6th. It is now the strongest Atlantic Ocean hurricane in recorded history, with sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. Emergencies have already been declared in Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The French island of St. Bartholomew in the leeward chain has already reported 3 feet of rain, which has fallen on this small Caribbean island. The Turks and Caicos Islands were expected to see a storm surge of 20 feet as the storm continues to move in a northwesterly track across the Caribbean. Watch here as Irma blasts its way into Barbuda in the Leeward Islands at an astonishing 185 miles per hour. Officials have warned people to seek refuge from the onslaught of this horrendous storm, in a statement that ended, "May God protect us all." As of September 6th, as shown here, there are 2 powerful hurricanes in the Atlantic and 1 well-organized hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, as this hurricane season is just beginning to reach its peak level. As I stated earlier, the Earth is in the grip of something very powerful, what could very well be an extraplanetary force now entering the inner solar system. Its effects are now being felt across this planet, and especially in South America, which is experiencing an historical retreating of the sea. This phenomenon has been virtually ongoing since before the time of the Great Eclipse on August 21st, and it shows no signs of subsiding. It has become a gravitational event of unprecedented proportions. On September 4th, the sea once again receded, this time on the Pontal Parana in southern Brazil, as seen here. If Planet X is approaching the inner solar system, as many now believe, then this certainly could account for the extraordinary events that are happening on this planet, which many scientists cannot explain because they have no real answers. As the planetary system interacts with our sun, it will begin to manifest itself in ways that the human mind cannot fully comprehend. Recent sky phenomena provide clues to what is going on in the heavens. The closer it gets, the more intense the interaction will be with our Sun and with the planets of the inner solar system, each of which acts as a buffer in slowing down the advancement of the Nibiru system. Some things that are observed or heard in the heavens really do defy explanation. Here are but a few.
Ragazzi, benvenuti a Santorini.
Last month, I informed our viewers that FEMA and other government agencies were conducting an exercise called the Black Sky Event, which would take place on August 23rd, 2 days following the Great Eclipse. The exercise was a preventative measure in the event of a long-term blackout, a failure of the national power grid as a result of an EMP or some type of space weather event, or a cosmic influence. In a bit of coincidence, NASA announced on September 6th that a huge ion gas cloud was heading towards Earth. Now, these are X-class flares, which are the most intense classification of coronal ejections. The burst of radiation was so intense that it blacked out high-frequency communication here on Earth for about an hour. When directed towards Earth, these type of solar storms affect satellite systems and other forms of technology. Now, we have no idea whether this solar event will be a repeat of the Carrington event of 1859, which severely affected communications on Earth. But any event as powerful as this one certainly has the potential to cause some serious problems in our immediate future. And so we will keep a close eye on this particular event, as NASA isn't really saying a whole lot about what to expect in the way of space weather. The doomsday clock is quickly approaching midnight. The days are running short, with very little time to absorb all that is happening on planet Earth. So, my friends, be mindful of all things. Keep yourself informed, prepared, and ready to act at any given moment. Keep a watchful eye on everything around you, and most importantly, keep looking to the sky.